Hi USY Facts fans, I'm Will Landman, Met USY and founder of USY Facts, and I'm very excited to introduce EPA 2011-2012 Regional President and 2012 International Communications Vice President, Danielle Leopold. Thanks again for taking the time, Dani, to do this interview.
Thanks so much for having me, Will.
So when did you start USY?
In the fall of 2007, I believe.
Did you ever imagine being where you are now in the organization?
Never, never, ever, 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 never. I never ever thought I'd ever run for any board.
So who influenced you to become a leader in USY?
I guess it started with the members of EPA, as cliche as that sounds. I ran for board because I really wanted to make a difference in EPA, and I thought that I could really help out the members of EPA. And always the regional president my 8th grade year, because in EPA, USY starts in 8th grade, so my very first convention, she really reached out to me, and it really made an impact on me.
So what was the first event you can remember going to?
Well, in 2007, like I said, I remember I went to a chapter movie night in Westchester, and I remember fall convention my 8th grade year, fall 2007.
So the real question is, why communications?
Well, at first it was the only position available on my chapter board, so I ran for it because they needed someone to do it. And then the more time I spent in the position, I spent 2 years as chapter comm, the more I realized how much I liked it. And I love that it has the ability to incorporate all of the other positions on board, because you can be communicating about a SATO event or a RELAT event, and technically you're always communicating. And there's a lot more people interaction than you think. People think that the MemCAD is the people position, but communications is really a people position too, because it requires so much interaction with your audience and knowing how they think, so you know best how to communicate with them.
So what was it like being regional president?
It was absolutely incredible. I loved every single moment. I loved being able to be involved in so many aspects of USY, so many levels, everything from the SATO allocations meeting at fall boards to the planning at IC and all the behind-the-scenes stuff at conventions and working with chapter counterparts. It was fantastic.
So what was your toughest challenge as president?
I think mine was a bit unique in that EPA had a lot of events with other regions this year. We had Quad Regional Encampment in August with Safon, Hanefesh, and Hagesher. We had pre-convention with Hanefesh. We had our winter convention with Hagesher. So that ended up we had to work with a lot of more people than we originally thought we would. And I guess balancing everything, because I was also on International General Board.
So what did you enjoy the most about it?
I loved being able to work with the different members of the board, my board, and really, when I was regional comm last year, I didn't get to see as much the inner workings of each of the programs as we went through the process of making them. And this year I got to see that more, and I really felt like I was making a difference. People coming up to you at convention and giving their feedback, it's really great to hear.
So what do you love about EPA?
What's not to love about EPA? I like how geographically close we are. I think maybe the furthest someone has to drive is maybe 3 hours if you're taking a good route. So that's really nice. We get a lot of opportunities to see each other outside of events. And everyone's so welcoming, because we're such a small region that you have no choice but to be friends with everyone who's around you. And I like that closeness.
So what do you think it takes to be a regional president?
Organized, both with time and working with people and everything. you have to be willing to think outside of the box because it's really easy to just copy what other regions or other past boards have done, but being able to think of what will suit your region best, what is filling a void that your members need, and willing to let others take the spotlight. Because though the president gets a lot of, I don't want to say the credit, but I feel like it always seems like they're more responsible. So you feel the need to sometimes step up and you should, during a convention, but sometimes it's okay to let your board members take over and let them shine. They who work so hard on this program, it's about them too.
So what would you recommend to people who are running for the position?
I guess really think about your goals for the year and plan them out in advance, and really just have a really solid game plan in mind, because your board members are going to be looking to you as well as the rest of the region. And take the time to get to know your board members as people, not just as someone that you're working with. For me, at least, it's really made my experience much more enjoyable because you have that other connection and you're able, again, to talk outside of events just as friends too. And I've gotten really close with my board that way, and it's helped us work a lot better together.
So it was like, you mentioned you were on IGB this past year, so what was it like being on Comm IGB in 2011?
I was Akshav editor with Elias Strober-Horowitz of Metney. I worked with Dan Weitz, who was International Comm in 2011, and Matt Halpern from the central office. And Akshav is the international news magazine of USY, and this past year it was combined with Shalhevet, the creative arts magazine. So we collected articles from all over, poems, short stories, photographs, news articles. We had 4 issues, and we sent them out to everyone, I guess, in USY.
So when did you consider running for international board?
I suppose after fall boards in September-ish, I guess.
So were you nervous about the international election?
Extremely. I don't think I've ever been more nervous for anything, ever.
So how did you feel when they called your name for international comm?
It was definitely a mixture of emotions. I was really overwhelmed because I was happy, but I was also, it was hard because I'm close friends with the other people that ran as well. And yeah, it was just very overwhelming.
What will be the toughest aspect of being regional president international comm for the remainder of the year?
I'm thinking mainly time. There just never seems to be enough of it.
What do you feel it takes to be a good leader?
I think it takes someone who is willing to connect with the individual. Like I've said, not only maybe a board member, but a regular member, someone who is not involved in any leadership position, and someone who is willing to make the right decision, even if it's not the most popular decision.
So what are some of the perks of being on international board?
Well, it's still kind of early. I guess meeting people, just a lot of the ability to be involved more internationally and meet a lot of people that way. We got to stay with Jules for a weekend and go to the central office, enjoy a lovely Shabbos meal cooked by Yehudis. His wife was delicious. That was nice.
So what is your favorite aspect of USY?
That it has the ability to bring so many people together from all over North America.
So if you could describe USY in one sentence, what would you say?
From the outside looking in, you can't understand it. And from the inside looking out, you can't explain it. Did I get it right that time?
I believe so. To anyone who didn't understand the reference, in the first interview that I did with her, the regional president interview, we had to do it twice because we couldn't get it correct the first time. So, some behind the scenes interview behind the scenes, if that makes any sense at all. I think we're both very tired. What are your goals for the organization for this year?
Of course, we like to increase membership. Then I really want to unite people promoting similar themes or using similar methods or mindsets, I guess.
Just to go a little off book for a second, I saw that you selected a Lanasi IGB member. Would you like to comment on resurrecting Lanasi?
Yeah. Lanasi is the newsletter for chapter presidents, and I don't know the last time that it was really produced. We talked about it a lot last year, since no one person had been assigned to it on Dan's IGB, but a lot of people applied for it this year, and Mark Bornstein is working very hard to send something out. We're working a little bit with the regional presidents to get some communication going with their counterparts so we can get something out in this term of chapter presidents and start gearing up for the next term that'll start, I guess, in the fall. We're really excited this year, though, to bring it back.
So how do you plan to continue social media playing an important role in the growth of USY and the conservative movement?
Well, I think that social media is a very personal way of communication. Well, it's not as personal as a Skype conversation or a phone call, but it is more than an email per se. So I think regional comms should really have a lot to say as to how they decide to use Facebook, because they know their regions best and how their members will best respond to certain aspects of Facebook. But of course, I think a picture can speak 1,000 words, 100 words, whatever it is. What is it with quotes? But picture's worth 1,000 words. That's it. So of course, having lots of pictures and using statuses is a quick and easy way to remind people of what's going on.
So looking back, when your time in USY is over, what will be one thing you enjoyed the most out of everything you have done in USY?
I have to pick one.
Okay, if you would like.
Pilgrimage was definitely a highlight. Probably really changed me as a person and who I am in USY. Quad regional encampment, being president and leading my region, and meeting lots of people.
So now for the fun questions to get to know the international comm a little bit better. What kind of music do you like?
I listen to a lot of different stuff, but I guess I listen to a lot of indie type things. But I'm also kind of a dork, and I listen to classical music because I play cello in the orchestra for 9 years now. So I like classical music a lot too.
What are your hobbies when you aren't swamped with USY or schoolwork?
I like hanging out with my friends and my family, playing tennis, playing cello, reading.
So what kind of movies do you like, or any particular genre as well?
I guess anything except horror movies. I really don't like horror movies. I like ones that make you think. But yeah, definitely not horror movies.
So favorite website and why? And it can't be a social networking site or a USY website.
I like tennis.com. It is keeps you updated on tennis news. MuggleNet.com keeps you updated on Harry Potter news. NewYorkTimes.com keeps you updated on everything else news.
A favorite word and why?
I was really struggling with this one. I don't know how you pick just one word. I like the word tenacious, though. I like how it sounds. I like what it means. It's a cool word. Tenacious.
Favorite snack?
Peanut butter.
So one thing you wish you could cross off your bucket list?
Traveling to Africa.
So where do you want to travel other than Africa?
Asia, probably.
So who inspires you?
My parents, of course, my sisters. My regional director, Barbara Shorosky, is one of the most amazing people I have ever met. She's absolutely incredible. She has an overwhelming amount of patience that I think is really admirable. And my AP psychology teacher from last year, he's very personal and I really like the way he thinks.
So do you have a favorite book or favorite books?
Did I mention I like Harry Potter? But besides that, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer. I actually wrote a lot of college essays about it. I love that book. It's so good.
So this was so great, Dani. Thanks for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it, and I definitely feel it will help International USY get to know you more and learn about your extraordinary passion for USY and communications. Since I met you on pilgrimage, we've become really great friends, and I've seen your passion for USY grow day in and day out. You worked so hard to get to the point you are now, and I'm so proud of you and excited for this year. I'm proud to call you my friend. Thanks for this wonderful interview.
Thanks, Will.